Okay, please turn to page 10 in Sidor Lev Shalem for Yadid Nefesh. Yadid Nefesh Av Harachaman Meshach Avdach El Retzonach Yarut Avdach Kimo Ayo Yishtachaveh Mul Hadarach Ki Erav Lo Yedidutach Mino Fetzuf Vechol Ta'am Hadurna Eziv Ha'olam Nafshi cholat ahavtach Ana elna rifanala Beharot la noam zivach Az titchazek v'titrapeh V'haitalach shivchat olam v'tihyemu rachamecha v'chusna al ben ohavach ki ze kama nichsof Liro Tiferet Uzach Ana Eli Mahmad Libi Chushana Ve'alti Dalam Higalena Ufros Chaviv Alai Et sukat shelomach Ta'ir eret mikvodach Nagila v'nismecha bach Maher ahuv kiva moed v'choneni ki me'olam Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai nai Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai nai Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai nai Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 Yananai nai 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 nai. Please turn to page 11 as Leah leads us in L'chun Ranina. I think Leah may be experiencing some technical difficulties. So please turn to page 11 for L'chun Ranina. L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina l'Adonai. L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, letzor yishenu, nekad mafanav betoda. Naria, Naria, letzor yishenu, bizmi wrote Naria lo. L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina l'Adonai. L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina, L'chun Ranina l'Adonai. Please turn to page 12 for Arba'im Shana at the arrow. Arba'im Shana Aku bedor. Va'omar am toe levavheim. Vehem lo yadu derachai asher nishbati v'api im yavaun el menuchati. Please turn to page 13 for Shir Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom, Liyom Yeshuato, Safru Bagoyim, Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim Niflotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Umeula meod norahu akol Elohim ay kikol Elohei ha'amim elilim va'adonai shamayim asa od v'hadar lefanav os v'tiferet b'mikdasho havu ladonai mishpechot damim havu ladonai kavod va'oz havu ladonai kevod shemo se'u mincha uvou lechatzrotav ishtachravu ladonai behadrak kodesh chilu mipanav kol haaretz imru bagoyim Adonai malach aftikon tevel bal timot yadin amim b'meshayrim yesmechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam umelo yalo sadai bechol asher bo az yiranenu kol atzayar lifnei Adonai kiva lishbot haaretz yishbot tevel betzedek ve'amim be'emunato yanai 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 Yai nai nai nai, yai nai 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 nai, yai nai nai, yanai yanai nai, yanai yanai nai, yanai yanai nai, yanai yanai, yanai yanai nai, yanai yanai nai, yanai yanai nai, yanai nai, yanai nai. Please turn to page 15. Adonai malach v'takel haaretz yismechu hayim rabim. Page 16 at the bottom. Or zarua la tzadik. Uyeshri lev zimcha, simchu tzadikim baronai, behodu lezecher kodsho. Please turn to page 20 as Ari leads us in a reading.
Okay. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who call upon the divine name, called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai our God. You were a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions.
Beautiful. And page 20 at the bottom for Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Please turn to page 21 for Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid. Sorry, to be right there. Havu Adonai b'nei elim, Havu Adonai kavod va'os, Havu Adonai kevod shemo, Hishtachavu Adonai v'chadra kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel, Levanon vesirion, Kemo ben Remim, Kol Adonai Hotzev Lavotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Adonai Mibar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yachol El Ayalot, Vayechesof Ye'arot, Uvehechalo Kulo, Omer Kavod, Kulo Omer Kavod. Adonai lamabu yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Yai nai nai nai, yai na 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 na, yai na na na, yai na na na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na. Night.
Beautiful. Now Ari leads us in a reading on page 23 in the left margin.
Shabbat, Israel's pattern. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish taught, the day of Shabbat came before the Holy One and said, Creator of the world, every day has a pattern. Sunday has Monday, Monday has Tuesday, so on. But I have no pattern. The Holy One replied, Israel shall be your pattern. And when Israel stood at Sinai, God said to them, Remember my promise to Shabbat, that Israel will be your pattern. Thus it is written, Remember the day of Shabbat to keep it holy.
And now Kayla leads us in Lechado D on page 23.
Lecha dodi likad kala, peni Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likad kala, peni Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el chamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shamo tiferet v'litila. Lehadodi likad kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lehadodi likad kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, כי היא מקורך ברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תכלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי ברך ומאורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני אלוהיך נגלה. להדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. להדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרך בעלה, גם ברינה ובצללה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. להדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Now, at this point, we would greet somebody. We are greeting somebody, I hope, coming into the service, in that it's traditional not to be in the service for these introductory 6 Psalms because they are celebratory. And only after Lecha Dodi does a mourner enter into our midst. And on page 26 are words for a mourner. And this week, Ed Sussman is honoring the memory of his brother, Alan Sussman. And so we say to Ed and to his family, to his wife, Freddie, to their children, Hamakom yinechem etchem b'toch sha'ar v'lei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the divine comfort you along with all the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem.
Beautiful. Please turn to page 27 for Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov leodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid b'boker chastecha, ve'emunatcha b'leilot, alei asur v'alei navel, alei higeyon bechinor. Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov leodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid b'boker chastecha, ve'emunatcha b'leilot, alei asur v'alei navel, alei higeyon bechinor. And now Rabbi, I believe, will lead us in the Mourner's Kaddish.
So in addition to Ed losing his brother this last week and the funeral being on Tuesday, I want to extend my condolences as well to Ed Heyman on the passing of his father, Mike Marshall Menashe Heyman, who had his funeral today. And there will be a Shiva Minyan tomorrow night honoring the memory of Mike Heyman at 6:30. And I want to extend condolences to Michael first on the passing of his mother yesterday, Gloria Gale first. We honor those who've passed, recently, as well as those for whom you are reciting Kaddish as the yurtzeit, as the memorial. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra kirite v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, bagalau v'zman kari v'imru amen, Yehei shmei rabba mevarach, le'olam omel maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar vitale vitalal shmei dekutsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bialma v'mramein Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'mramein Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. I invite our USY President, Shannon Moss, to be our teacher.
Thank you. I've had a drink of water, so my voice is back. Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Parsha, Moses' father-in-law, Yitro, visits the Israelite camp. There, he questions and advises Moses to appoint judges to help him govern the children of Israel, known to be God's kingdom of priests. The Israelites later gather at the bottom of Mount Sinai, where God later descends with thunder and lightning. At last, God proclaims the 10 Commandments, values that still guide us as Jews today. Yitro's advice truly spoke to me. He asked Moses, "What is this thing that you are doing to the people? Why do you act alone while all the people stand about you from morning until evening?" Taking that jump, asking others for help, is a risk to many, but a fundamental aspect to a truly strong leader. It takes not only bravery, but true self-awareness to pause and reflect on practically any role in our lives. And when Moses lacked this self-awareness of his endless responsibility, Yitro was there to remind him to reflect on his job. Later in this parsha, God descended onto Mount Sinai to proclaim the 10 Commandments to the Israelites. The Israelites went through the sanctifying process of self-effacement in order to prepare. But what happened after? Who would guide the Israelites in learning and understanding the 10 Commandments after they received them? As a board member in the past, and now this year's USY president, I've observed the necessity of relieving the burden of one person and offering or requesting a helping hand. To this day, Torah study is something that has always been a challenge to me, and I don't think it was intended to be easy. When searching for a deeper meaning in this week's Parsha, I realized I wanted to figuratively appoint judges, just as Moses did when he followed Yitro's advice of requesting assistance. So, I asked several USYers to break down one commandment that was meaningful to them, and now I will share with you all how they've helped teach me. So, one of our other board members, Jacob Bloom, who cannot be here with us tonight, said, "The commandment that is most important to me is honoring thy father and mother. I feel this way because they do so much for you that one may not even think of. They raised and nurtured you for years and paid for everything that got you to where you are today. The least you could do is make them proud and honor their name by making your own path and hopefully help them out when they need it later on in life." Another person, Muriel Smith, said as well that the most important commandment to her is the one regarding honoring your father and mother. She believes it's important to love, respect, and honor her parents, especially in these times when we're constantly at home with them. It's the perfect time to bond and thank them for all that they've done to us. And then Leah Green, who unfortunately had some technical difficulties, said, "The commandment that is most important to me is the commandment about not misusing God's name. It's most important to me because God's name is a way for us to show respect to him. We can't reference his name with a name that is used casually or without kindness. And for this reason, it's important to respect and honor God." And then Yaya is also going to share what she wrote.
Yes. I said that I think the most important commandment is the commandment of not being jealous of thy neighbor. So often we can become unhappy because we focus so intensely on what we don't have rather than celebrating what we do have. I think envy is the root of a lot of unhappiness in the world. And by having this commandment to live by, we are able to find solace and content in loving what we have rather than what we don't.
So, thank you. That was beautiful. So, as you can see, each USY I asked has offered new yet important perspectives on a specific commandment, encouraging me to reflect on and strengthen my connection to these Jewish values. By hearing how they apply certain commandments to their own lives, I have become a stronger leader and teacher myself. In addition to writing this teaching, I find it important to apply Yitro's advice to my life in many other ways. As displayed by the other amazing USYers this evening, I've discovered that working together to study Torah offers a greater ability to apply Judaism to our own lives, develop our personal Jewish identities, and constantly grow as not only teachers, but learners. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koa.
Beautiful, Shannon. I love that you immediately applied your lesson. It is beautiful. Please, now we will start the Mari service, so please turn to page 39a for the Baruch Hu. I invite you to rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Umavir yom umevi laila umavdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzvaot shemo El chai bekayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim. Please turn to page 40 for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha avta Torah umitzvot chukim umishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu uvekumeinu nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla v'yavatecha al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'leftecha b'derech uv'shochecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uv'chachtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha. We continue silently. Bottom paragraph on page 42. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber El Bnei Yisrael v'yarmata alehem v'yasu lahem tzitzit al kanfei bigdeihem ledorotam v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf betil techelet v'hayalechem letzitzit uritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam v'lo taturu acharei levavechem v'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotziti etchem mi'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please turn to page 44 for Micha. We start at the top at the arrow. Umalchuto beratzon kiblu alehem Moshe v'nei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabba ve'amru kulam Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha nadar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele Malchutecha ra'u banecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Seili anu v'yamru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov Galo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Please turn to page 45 at the top for Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim Ushmor teitenu uvoenu lechaim leshalom mi'atav ad olam Ufros aleinu sukkot shalom echa Baruch atah Adonai Haforesh sukkot shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Please turn to page 46 for the V'shamru.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam perit olam V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam perit olam B'nei b'nei Yisrael oti leolam Oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'yom hashvi'i shavat v'yinafash shavat v'yinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Beautiful. And Ava continues with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 46. Please rise.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח ירצה ימלך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, במהרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויפר וירם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתהלל, ויתהלל, שמי קדושה בריחו, לעולם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונעמתה, Dariam ve'alma v'imuru. Amen.
Beautiful. Now, please remain standing for the silent Amidah on page 47. We begin. Adonai, na, 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 Adonai. Adonai, na, 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 sfaftai tiftach. Adonai, na, 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 ufi agid. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Please continue silently. If you are still praying, please continue. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. All right, now please rise again for the repetition of the Amidah on page 53. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayich Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayekadesh oto
Ki bo Shabbat mikol malachto, asher bara Elohim laso. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Konei Shamayim v'Aretz, Magen Avod Bidvaro, Mechaye Metim B'Mamaro, Ha'el Hakadosh Shein Kamohu, Hameniach Le'amo, B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho, Kivam Ratza Le'aniach Lahem, Kivam Ratza Le'aniach Lahem, Lefanav Navod Birafachad, Venodeh Lishmo Bechol Yom Tamid, Mein HaBrachot. El HaHodaot Adon HaShalom, Mekadesh HaShabbat, Umavorech Shevi, Umeniach Bikdusha, Le'amek Dushnei Oneg, Zecher Lemase Bereshit. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu retzei b'mnuchatenu, kadeshinu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha, sapeinu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu li'ovdecha be'emet, V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu B'yahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha V'yanuchu v'Yisrael Mekadesh shemecha Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Okay. Please stay on page 54 for Kaddish Shalem. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad divarak yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'galav v'zman kariv v'imiru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach, le'alam lo me'omaya, yitbarach. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran b'yama v'imiru amen. Titkabal tzloton uvalachton dachol Yisrael kodam uvahon divishmaya v'imiru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imiru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imiru, amen. Please turn to page 56 for the aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedulat liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, Shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim, umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'yosei haaretz, u'Moshe v'ikaram b'shamayim imam, u'shchinatu zo, begavrei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatu betorato, biadata yom v'chashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, bashamayim imo, v'aretz mitachat ein Okay, Nicola. Page 57 at the arrow. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu hiye Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
At this time, we recite Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Shatom. Again, condolences to Ed Sussman on the passing of his brother Alan, to Ed Heyman on the passing of his father Mike, and to Michael First on the passing of his mother, Gloria First. We observe as a community a number of yurtzites as follows: Benjamin Kravitz, Dottie Levinson, Morley Safier, Milton Birkin, David Petoskey, Jules Warshaw, Jack Kirkus, Pearl Sapiria, Zarintaj Sahadi, Arthur Acton, Laura Tonkin, Zarintaj Sahadi, Leon Katz, Barbara Heyman, Stella Goldsmith, David Miller, Jacob Stiss, and Isidore Merzeritz. I invite those observing a yurtzeit or who are in mourning to join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen, Yehei shmei rabba mevarach, leolam omeo maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha berichu, leila minko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bialma v'imru amen, Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Just a couple of announcements. One is to wish happy birthdays on this very day to Pat Zakel and Abby Pesner. Two, to thank our USYers who are amazing. Emily Fisher, our advisor, thank you. A great teaching by Shannon and leadership by Yaya and Kayla and Ava and Ari. To each of you, much thank you. And with that, I turn it over to Emily-Shannon if there's anything that we need to know regarding USY.
We have a few upcoming youth department things to know about. Of course, we have our Tuesday night lounge nights every Tuesday night. They're always fun and exciting. We have a special youth department baking extravaganza for our entire youth department, from kids to whole families. And that will be Saturday night after Shabbat ends, the 13th, and Sunday afternoon, the 14th. And we'll be baking hamantagen to get us ready for the Purim Carnival, the 21st.
Great. And so with that, I assume the next thing to know is there's a closing song. I know the USYers get to stay on for a remarkable guest. I don't know if you know your guest.
Yes.
For me to reveal.
We have a very special speaker this week. She
Yeah.
stars in the Netflix series Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. All right. So you guys, you're lucky. You're going to have a treat tonight. We conclude with a Shabbos song that leads us to our Shabbos tables, which is
Yido, Shalom Aleichem. What are we thinking?
Let's Sing Shalom Aleichem.
Okay.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you.